Welcome, Beverly. Can you tell us a little bit about your relationship with Long Beach City College and your career throughout the years?
Long Beach City College has been with my career throughout the years. And when I was just a young person coming from Poly High School, I was born in Long Beach and I attended Poly High School. And I was not very active in things. I had things that needed more attention than school activities. So I was very active in the music department at Poly High School. And the biggest thing in my life musically was that I had the lead in the Mikado. I was Yum Yum. But Poly High School was wonderful for me. After I graduated from Poly High School, I attended Long Beach City College. And I have to tell you that Long Beach City College has really been my life because I was here as a student, I was here as a faculty member, and then I was here as an administrator. And so it's been part of my life for probably 60 years in one way or another. And uh, what it contributes to the city of Long Beach is something that not too many cities have. We are so lucky in the city of Long Beach to have Long Beach City College and have it have the reputation it has through the years. Uh, and then Cal State Long Beach, but that's after Long Beach City College. And so I attended here. I was very, not shy, but I wasn't forceful in being involved in very many things. But at Long Beach City College, I think I found myself. Uh, uh, Cal State Long Beach gave me a career, but Long Beach City College gave me a time of my life where, after the first year, became very comfortable. I became active in the activities of the college. I was president of the women's students, which was probably the biggest thing that had ever happened to me in my life. And Long Beach City College gave me a confidence that I didn't have at all. And it was pretty much after the Second World War, but it was still a place where people could find a future, and it was comfortable, and faculty cared. I remember Ella Lewis and Marion Darlington very well, helping me in the out of class activities. I became active there. I was also still in music. And after I was here at Long Beach City College, I attended Cal State Long Beach and became a teacher. But this is about Long Beach City College. And so I was a teacher in the Long Beach Unified School District. I started out as a kindergarten teacher, and I loved it. It gave me a feeling of being with people and being with children and being with excited students because they were in school. It was a wonderful experience. After I had taught in elementary school, I became an advisor in another school district for elementary school. And in the 60s, the late 60s, Long Beach City College hired me back, or not back, hired me. And I was back at home. And I was hired because Marion Darlington wasn't going to be the women's advisor. I was hired as the women's advisor and the women's activities, head of women's activities, and taught music. I taught voice and piano. And I thought that I had died and gone to heaven. I was someplace that I loved. I was at a place where the college was inviting. It was not that old, but what it was doing was starting to give a real lift up for the veterans that were coming back. My husband, whom I met at Poly High School, he was president of the student body, and I was really excited about that. Was here with me. We married later. But City College, when I first came here, I thought, as I say, this is something I would have never dreamed. I think I'm going on too long about this, or I'm probably in the middle of it. Okay, so, I was women's advisor, as I say, and I taught two classes, two different subjects. After a few years, I became the first woman dean, and I was dean of the liberal arts campus. And so I didn't teach, but I was in charge of the campus during the day. And I couldn't believe that I got the job, but I did. I was in charge of this campus, and the other camp, PCC, was just emerging. And I was at for 2 years. Then I became Dean of Student Affairs. And let's see, this is a long time ago. I haven't thought about this for a while. And after that, I became vice president of Long Beach City College. And then for my last 6 years here, I became president of Long Beach City College. So I was here for 23 years. And this is my home. We built a building that the cafeteria is there, and the student center. We didn't have that before. That was one of my biggest projects that I just loved, and it was so badly needed. So the college changed a great deal, and I thought, and then I retired.
So that was a great overview.
That's an overview of my time at Long Beach City College.
Absolutely.
Do you have any questions about it?
Absolutely. So we're gonna jump back all the way to when you were a student.
Okay.
And we'll go through a few questions.
Okay.
Feel free to answer them as long as or as short as you want.
Okay. You can cut and paste.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So who inspired you to attend college originally?
That other people that I thought, if they can do it, I could do it, type of thing, because there wasn't a lot of confidence. I didn't have much confidence. But I was always a good student. I wasn't the best. I wasn't the worst. I was a little better than maybe the middle. But I always had things on time, and I always did what I was supposed to do. So, it was here, and I'll have to tell you something, and I hate to even tell you this because it shows you how old I am. But when I came here, I wouldn't have been able to come here. I was working at J.C. Penney's in downtown Long Beach. I started there when I was 13 because it was hard to get workers part-time, and they needed them full-time. And so I forgot what I was saying.
Oh, you're working at J.C. Penney's?
Yes, but then I wanted to come to Long Beach City College, and I got a $25 scholarship from Hamilton Junior High School, which was at the Pacific Coast campus. It was the Pacific Coast campus after it was Hamilton Junior High. And it was from my junior high school. It was $25, and it paid for my books and my tuition. I couldn't believe it, looking back at it. So Uh, Everything was fine. My mother and father were really proud that their daughter was in college. Uh, so going to Long Beach City College was just a real special thing for me. And then when I came to work here, with some of the people that were really good friends of mine when I was here as a student, were still here. This is a special place.
So what were a few of your fondest memories as a student here? What really stands out to you all these years later that
It
you
gave me confidence in myself. As I said earlier, I said that it gave me a recognition of what maybe I could do, being in a competition where other people were in college and I was at college. And so it gave me, and maybe what I was capable of doing, and measuring the things with other people that are also striving.
favorite class or subject?
Um, Music has always been my favorite subject. Math has always been my least favorite. Still is, but no, there was just an atmosphere here. The atmosphere was one of caring. And there were a lot of returning veterans that were in school at that time. So it was, I get the same feeling when I'm here now as I had then.
And what do you consider one of your biggest accomplishments as a student? Or a few of them, a few of your biggest accomplishments?
Having the lead in the operetta, being able to be in college and get good grades, running for ASB, president of the women's students, and I was so proud of that. So it was kind of being in a place where you're kind of tested, and when you succeed, you feel good.
So let's move forward to when you came back and were hired as a music professor. Could you talk about some of your fondest memories as a professor?
Well, I was hired back not because I had outstanding musical contributions, because that was my it was never going to be a career, but the confidence that you get and the feeling that you get about yourself when you're in a place where you are with people that are also learning, and how they learn, and how they it's an atmosphere that is pervasive at Long Beach City College. You can tell that this is a home.
What do you accredit that to? To the professors?
To the people, the atmosphere, the professors. They were here because they loved their subject. But they were human beings. They weren't objects to be afraid of.
So let's move on further in your career. And you talked a little bit about becoming the director of the Women's Center at Long Beach City College. What were some of the challenges you faced in that position?
To see working with students is challenging. You see all kinds of atmospheres. They create all kinds of personalities. It's just we're learning to work with people. If there was one thing that would follow you your whole life, is how to get along with people, because you're always around people, whether it's sitting by them on a bus or in a classroom or and if you haven't got can't create an atmosphere of communication that's healthy, you don't succeed as much as if you create an atmosphere where you can talk with people and gain confidence. So and I was my mother worked while I was a child, and I went to the Long Beach Day Nursery in the city of Long Beach on Orizaba near Anaheim. And I was there for 7 years. I went as a 3-year-old and left as a 10-year-old. At that time, the
Sorry.
you have to cut this out.
Yeah.
At that time,
Can you pick up? Yeah, just back up a little.
at that time, you could go to school when it was time to go to school. The teachers would take anybody that was school age to the school that was nearest, and it's Robert E. Lee, and drop them off and then pick them up and bring them back after school. I don't think they do that much anymore. Maybe they do. But so for 7 years, I was around kids all the time, you know. And I think maybe that's why I learned, I kind of like to teach, because I could remember when I learned to tie my shoes, I was a hot shot, you know. And so I started teaching other kids how to do their shoes, tie their shoes. And oh boy, you know, I thought, ooh, you know, that's really something. I taught somebody something. I think that's maybe where the love of teaching came. But anyway, being with people has been very important to me. I forgot my train of thought from the beginning to the end.
Oh, we were talking about when you were director of the Women's Center.
Oh, all right. Well, where did I
Some
go
of the
off this whole thing?
challenges.
Okay. And in the Center for Women, this was a time when, and I don't know if there's a lot of thought about something like this, but a lot of the men that came back from the Second World War had left wives, and sometimes they didn't click when they got back, and there were a lot of women at that time that were kind of bewildered. And we started a Center for Women at the Pacific Coast campus. And it was highly successful. We had women, you know, that were, especially in their late 30s, that have a whole life ahead of them. And they were wondering what to do. And the Women's Center was very, very successful at that time.
Do you see any parallel today to a need to inspire continuing education?
Oh no, I'm so proud of Long Beach City College because of the Women's Center. They welcomed it. It was highly successful. And then Centers for Elderly. They also have classes for older citizens of the city. Community college is for the community, you know, and they aren't all 10 or 18 to 30.
So let's move along to, I guess at one point in your career you were the vice president of student services.
That was the second administrative position I had, and it was anything with outside of the classroom. And that was counseling and guidance and activities and services to students. And I loved that. I could still do what I did before, actually, but in a different capacity. And I was that, I think, maybe 4 or 5 years. And then I became the vice president of the college. And I have some clippings from the newspaper still that said first woman to be a vice president of the college, and I was also the first woman to be the president of the college. But
well, how did that feel, becoming, you know, being a trailblazer?
Well, I don't think of it as that. it was the next step, and it was a college I loved, and I knew everybody, and we all felt comfortable with each other, and and a lot of good things happened.
So you didn't feel any added pressure being
No.
the first?
Oh no, no, I'm just a person like any other person. So, we persons work together.
So what are some of your fondest memories when you took those administrative positions?
Well, I was so lucky. Uh, I had a career someplace where I had been for over 20 years. I knew everything. I knew all the people. I loved not just faculty, but the people that are in the support services of an institution. They work really hard, and I worked to have them feel as though they were part of the teaching staff and how they took care of themselves and with other and with the students. I told them, if we didn't have students, you wouldn't have a job, and you can teach as much as a teacher can, but in a different way, in how you treat people. So, no, it was a wonderful career. I look back on it, and when I retired, I wasn't going to do another career. I ended up with one, but I didn't look to that at all.
So what were some more concrete ways you said that you engaged classified staff, support staff to really feel like they're part of the process of educating the student?
Well, like on the first opening days of school, I said, if you see somebody that looks like they're bewildered, ask them. Say, can I help you? And they kind of found it. I think they felt empowered because they hadn't thought of talking to the students, the groundsmen, and But we're all in this together, and some days we need each other, and other days that we don't. And especially new students who are scared, they'd never tell you they were, but they're nervous. And, what's happening next, and where am I? And so anybody that looks bewildered, just ask them. Just talk to them.
Thank you.
Or if they're standing in a long line, somebody from the office should come out and say, it's only going to be about 20 minutes more. Let's treat each other well.
So then let's move on to you actually becoming president. Do you want to talk a little bit how that came about, how the process went?
No, but I think there was a lot of controversy because they had not had a woman president at the college at all, and but the board was very foresighted. I had good relationships with the board, and I'm sure they asked a lot of people because what do you think about that? And yeah, a couple of the board members talked to some friends of mine at the time, and the friends told me, and they said, they were nervous about, having you in there because of it's a big step, and it was a big step at the time. I didn't think it was a big step, but it was, and I took it seriously because I wasn't going to fail because I'm a woman.
So you didn't feel any sort of added pressure as being a woman, as
No.
being the first woman,
No.
as sort of this controversy surrounding you. You just sort of felt it was your natural progression in your career.
Yeah.
That's very, very interesting to hear that. So what are some of the challenges you faced once you became president?
Well, I never did anything to prove anything. I mean, I'll show them. I mean, none of that. It's just steps that you take in your life, and you feel prepared for. And there weren't many people that said, "Oh no." So, and what was your question again?
Oh, so what are some of the challenges you face once challenges maybe any president would have faced sort of during your time as presidency that you felt were, I guess, some of the most challenging things that you had to overcome as a president or address?
I don't think I felt any challenges more than anybody would not feel if they were going into a new career. It's
Well, I guess more like some of the challenges of the day. Like today, we're really experiencing a lot of students that are housing insecure or homeless or food insecure. A lot of students that aren't able to access the internet, or there's a digital divide. Were some particular challenges at your point in time that you addressed? You might want to talk about.
Looking back on it, I wish I thought of this more, because maybe there were some, but there isn't anything that stands out in my mind. There were a lot of students that were returning veterans. We didn't talk about homeless as much as we're talking now. Or gangs. That didn't seem to be something that was facing the college anyway. So it was just taking people that were at a time of their life when they were looking and searching and looking at their future and wanting to find themselves. And we have a wonderful faculty. We've always had a wonderful faculty, people that really care about students. So I don't think, I wish I thought about this a little bit longer, but nothing comes up to hit me. I'll come tonight. I'll call you at what time?
I'm up late. Yeah, please let us know. But it sounds like, your management style was more overreaching to really nurture the student and get them at a time in their life when they're looking to, when they're searching, right? What would you could you talk more about your leadership style?
Hang on 1 second. Camille.
I don't know about talking about leadership. I feel that we're all in this together, and we all want to succeed. I mean, you can find somebody you don't even like that you think you're never going to succeed. It's still looking for success, and some comfort for their lives, and some background that will aid them in doing what they enjoy. In a leadership style, I think is if people don't follow you, you're not a leader. Because leader means that you're heading up something. And if you don't engage everyone in seeing the good of the direction that we're going, and when we succeed, how we'll feel when we all work together. And I think people want that. And I think they want to be involved. They want to feel as though they're making a contribution. So I try to engage everybody to feel the way that they would want to feel, and how they can impart that or use their skills for. So I love being around people, and I think that everybody wants to be successful in some way. I think some of them maybe want to be successful in the wrong way and don't know how to do it, but that you got to work with them and let them know how much better they'll feel if they recognize some things that'll help their future.
And you say you engage everybody. How do you go about doing that? Is it personal conversations? Is it holding
it's just
meetings?
Being available. We were talking this morning about that somebody recognized the fact that I was in the cafeteria every morning when I was president. From 8 to 9 every morning, I had coffee in the main cafeteria, and I got to see people that wanted to see me. And I loved it. It was wonderful. I saw students, I saw faculty, and people that said some problem that was bothering them, or something they wanted to talk to me about. And no, it's.
So did that happen organically? You just decided one day you would get coffee from 8 to 9, or was it something that you?
Oh, I liked it.
Was it something you thought out and planned and said, I'm going to be available in the
No, I
mornings?
just said I'm going to have coffee. Like, see you then.
So it was more organic, where it sort of turned into a tradition of you being
Yeah.
available to students.
I didn't realize that people remembered it, but somebody today remembered it.
Yeah, so I'm sure it made a huge impact on quite a few people. What do you hope people remember most about your time as president of Long Beach City College?
What do people remember most?
What do you hope they remember most? What do you hope that they say,
That they were here and they loved being here. The fact that they could see the advantage of what they were getting at Long Beach City College. And if they're open to changing and really mean it, it changes you.
So so were there any specific programs or initiatives that you feel that students really benefited from when you were?
I think in class is what they're here for, but the outside of class, in working with other students in some capacity, they should try to do that too. It expands your interests. You're working with people in a different way. And just remember that you'll be around people your whole life, and the more that you can participate in helping others, the better life you're going to have.
So what advice would you give to the next generation of leaders, either at this college or, let's say, in higher education in general? Is there any wisdom you can impart to?
Well, I'm going to say something that I probably already said, but I think Long Beach is a special place. Long Beach is a city, and I think maybe in the top 10 in California, maybe the only city that has a sense of community. There still is a feeling that this is a community. We probably have more nonprofits that can take care of any illness and any problem that anybody might have and groups that are working on it. After I retired, I did a program on the Long Beach television station for 4 years, interviewing the nonprofits in the city of Long Beach. And the people that give of their time for some special interest or some need they see grow as people. There's a feeling of doing something for somebody else that is very fulfilling, and you get it by interaction. So Long Beach is a place where it can happen to you if you will let it, and if you're open to it, and if you find something. So, but realize that we're in a city where you can go from kindergarten through one of the best unified school districts you can find to the best community college you could find, and then go to Cal State Long Beach, which is turning out to be probably the best in California. And the scholarships that are given them, and the attention that's giving them to go from one place to another is there. And you just have to be open to it and know how important it is to you and how it is to the community. I think I amble a lot,
No, these are nice pieces of wisdom you're sharing with us, and I really appreciate it, and I'm sure the college does as well. So where do you see, or I guess how would you, in today's atmosphere, engage students on the importance of higher education? I know you talked about a scholarship that you received that sort of
Oh,
propelled
yes.
you into higher education, but how, I guess the something that's unique is at your time and place. Not a lot of people were going to college, right? Not a, people felt it wasn't necessary like today. But how do we really inspire students to embrace or be open for that change you talk about that can happen at Long Beach City College?
Well, I don't think they were ever too old to grow. And if you stop growing when you leave high school, you've got a lot of years ahead of you. I was thinking I didn't want to work at JCPenney's my whole life. And the more you know about education, or the more you're involved in something outside of yourself, you see avenues where you could help or that could help you. And you don't stop growing when you leave high school. There's a whole world out there that changes every week, and you should be a part of it.
So maybe we could talk about some of the issues facing higher education today, like homelessness. Do you have any take on, students that are food insecure, that are housing insecure, students that the completion rates aren't?
Well, today's problems are different than the problems that we had when I was leaving high school. They're the regular problems of not knowing where to go or being upset, and can't do this. We're having overcrowded problems. We're having people with financial problems. Things are becoming much more complicated in even trying to find help for things. As I said, Long Beach has many groups that are working on homelessness, on shelters for women, on rescue missions, and trying to not keep up, but at least help the people that need it the most. So we're much busier. We're a big city. We're, I think, the 6th largest city in California. But there's still a feeling of a home here with the majority, with feeling that there is a place where I can work with my neighbors, I can work on such and such and help in this way. We have so many people in the city that volunteer for things. We're really blessed.
Absolutely. And so this is more for myself, as a new faculty member. What advice would you give me to someone who's starting out, or I guess new to Long Beach City College, and really new to teaching in general?
Mm-hmm.
What advice could you give new faculty?
Just to be open, and to be not aggressive, but to be more active in, just finding out what things they can do and what they don't like doing. No, just to be active. Don't be just waiting for somebody to ask you to do something. Volunteer. It makes your life easier. You don't grump as much.
And then we talked a little bit about, what you hope people remember, but what would you hope your legacy will be in Long Beach?
That I made some difference. I was given that opportunity, in my job, and then in the job I had after I left here. and feeling as though that you contributed when you could, not just to my life, but to everybody else's that I came in contact with.
Absolutely. And so that's all the questions I have. Is there anything else you want to add? Anything else you want to speak about today?
If you give me about a half hour, I probably would have as much as I've given you now already. So I can't think of anything. Maybe we can ask you guys. What do you want to know?
Any questions?
Maybe talk about other people who've gone into public office. You didn't mention your mayor's job, which I know maybe is not Jeff's focus, but how about training the next set of leaders for the community and beyond? Robert Garcia, Gary Scott.
Yeah.
other
Well,
folks?
they are certainly outstanding graduates, or have certainly made a contribution, and they're from Long Beach City College. So that's where our leaders come from, and I think that there's enough confidence in ways they can obtain confidence by being cognizant of what's out there. Like when I was growing up, I didn't even know other than what I could see. But the city is filled with places where there's something that would interest you. It's just finding that.
Will you name some unsung heroes of Long Beach City College past that might have influenced you, or that you remember doing a really great job also? Because I think you're the most famous LBCC alum.
Oh, thank you very much.
Perhaps name some other, whether they be students, faculty members, administrators, that you think played a role in shaping the college.
I think that probably over 50% of the people that are in some leadership position had something in a contact with Long Beach City College. It's just been pervasive in its goal, and it's just it's a place where when you're confused, that you can find some direction. A four-year college gives you your degree and gives you a direction, but City College kind of takes you from confusion in your life to some direction. And it could be one class that you're interested in. It could be, one night a week or one day a week that you spend an hour in a class or 2 hours and grow in some way. And I think that I would say that anybody that has been in Long Beach more than 15 years has had some kind of contribution. City College has made some contribution to them in their lives.
And so how does Long Beach as a community college stand out beyond that mission of just in general of community colleges being there for the community? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, I think that it has been strong because of the atmosphere that it creates of acceptance and of people starting out with confusion and sort out their lives here. That's what I felt about it. And you don't even know what's happening. You just think, direct me. You don't even say that. You're just not filling that empty need that you need. Yeah.
During your time here, were there any traditions that you were in or experienced that were your favorite, or ones that maybe you'd like to bring back?
Well, I love the music department. I'd love to bring some of that back. I stopped singing. I had a church choir, and I had a, I was involved in music in one way or another, especially in the churches. And my mother sang alto, and I sang soprano, and so on Mother's Day we were really in high demand. So the music department stands out in my mind, but the thing that really stands out in my mind is what I learned from Marion Darlington and Ella Lewis. They were, Marion Darlington was the dean of women, and Ella was a speech teacher who had part of her assignment is to work with women students. And just the feeling that I got of kind of accomplishment was really interesting when I look back on it and have looked back on it, because, all of a sudden you feel comfortable. There's something about, I like being here. It's acceptance, and it's people seeking, not knowing really that they're seeking, but they are. It really makes a difference to people's lives, to have people older than they are be involved, help you be involved in like this guy here. He's changed so many lives that people write better, read better, are more aware, and that's what happens in the classroom here. So
I heard a story that you and your husband had dogs that would sing with you. Is that a rumor?
They would howl with.
They would howl with you.
Yeah, they would.
What's behind that? You do.
Oh, that's just a little family thing.
You guys did a performance at the college, though.
No.
No, never in public.
Oh, what was that?
Colleague Capers. Remember that program? Colleague Capers?
Colleague Capers.
Talent show?
I think I did bring my dog. My land. What a memory. I brought it and I sang, "When I'm calling you." Ooh. People loved it. They said, "God, look at Oneill is singing and her dog is howling." I love that thought. Oh, I love that. I love thinking about it tonight.
When's the last time you actually sang in public?
Oh, years. Yeah.
Do you remember the last time?
It was actually probably after my mother died. I didn't sing much because we were a twosome, and she died in like 1980 something, and that was a long time ago. So, and I really haven't had the time with the jobs I've had to do much singing on my own, except church now and then. But so I've really lost it. I kind of bothers me, but when you don't use it, you lose it. Guys, got any more?
I think we all should sing now, though.
I can't sing anymore. No, I really can't sing anymore. It really can't. Yeah.
Come on. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for coming and sitting for this interview from all of Long Beach City College. I think we really appreciate it.
Well, I don't know what I did, but it's a place I love. I really feel that was home. I loved being mayor. I thought I would never, ever be an elected official. I never wanted to go into politics at all.
What was the most surprising thing you learned from politics?
I loved it. I really did, because I felt I was doing something. I was doing something important to the city, for the city, with the city. And we were in a... do you want me to talk about mayor
please.
times?
Yeah, please.
Well, I retired, and before I retired, I had a group of people, and there were about 8 that said, why don't you run for mayor? I said, you got to be kidding. I was still here. And I said, I have no interest at all in running for mayor. I said, I'm still here at City College, and I'm speaking at commencement because it's my last commencement. And you can come and talk to me after it, but I said, I have really no interest. And so they came after commencement, after I'd left. And it was at a time when the city of Long Beach, that had been a Navy town for 60 years, was leaving. That's our source of income for the city. And we were really desperate. And that's a project that I had never thought of taking on, but it was something that interested me. How do you do this? And so I ran for mayor. And some of the people that were running for mayor, there were 13 that ran at that time. This was in 1994. And some of the people had been on council and been mayor, actually, one of them. And they had been campaigning to be the next mayor for months, and here the election was about 4 months away. And so I ran. I said I'd run. And I won. And I spent the first 4 years working with Washington to get our land back, because we could not, they don't say, here's your land. But they had housing, they had offices, they had ports, they had shipyard, they had all these things that they can't take with them, and they're ours. But they don't just give them to you. They say, yeah, that's, it's Long Beach. It really took a lot of work. And so I spent a lot of time getting our land back. I ran again after 4 years and was reelected. And that 4 years I spent working with so many committees that I can't believe, looking back, on what are we going to do with this land? And what are the specifications that the Navy said we had to do with this land? And what they wanted and what we wanted sometimes weren't the same. And but we got all of our land back, and we got the port, and we put the shipyard, and so we got, and then we had the projects to know what we were going to do with the land. And they had a lot of housing for their officers and for their people that were working for the Navy. And then we had 2 terms. You can go for 2 terms. And I wasn't going to run again because you have to do it as a write-in. But it really bothered me because some of the people didn't like what we were going to do with the land. They didn't want the beach touched. They didn't want, there were a lot of things. And so I had to run again to save my 8 years of work. And so I had to run as a write-in. And I won. And so for 12 years, and then we started our development in the downtown. I feel good about it. And I love being mayor.
So that sounds like one of your biggest accomplishments. What would we see today? What would be some of the fruits of that labor that we see today? You were talking about downtown.
The aquarium, the whole development downtown, at the foot of Pine.
So that was all previously Navy bases
and nothing. And actually, that side of town was one that my mother wouldn't let me go into. It wasn't that part. We had bars, Corregidor, Baton, all these Navy, these islands where the war was going, had been. So, and that was the Navy's area, USO. So we changed the direction of the city.
Any other really big accomplishments like that you're really proud of as your time of mayor?
No, that was the major thing. The thing I like best is people's attitudes changed about their city. I think they're proud of it. And they weren't before. I can remember a couple times when I was in my middle years, people would say, "Where do you live?" They say Long Beach, and it's a little town south of Los Angeles. And you weren't really proud of, I said the Navy was there. And now I don't say that anymore. And I had three main thoughts, the 3 T's: trade, tourism, technology. And that's what we emphasized. So.
And where did those 3 ideas come from? Because I mean, some would say those are pretty visionary. Back when you were mayor.
I don't know. I just said we're going to do the 3 T's, and tourism is really increased. Technology in the city of Long Beach has increased. And what's the other one?
Trades.
And the trade has really made a difference. And the tourism is really something. That's it.
Yeah. Well, once again, thank you. Any other questions?
Huh?
Wrap it up. Thank you so much for everything.
My whole life.
Jeff, that I didn't get a chance to share with you, and maybe Dr. O'Neill can comment on it if you'd like, if that's okay with you, Jerome, too. Sure. The book written about you. Jeff, have you seen that?
Oh.
Yes, I actually read it.
Did you?
Yeah. This is where I got all my questions
Harry
from.
Saltzgaver came to me after I left being mayor and said, I'd like to write a book about you. I said, you got to be kidding. No way. I haven't had the greatest life. I think it's the greatest life now. But going through some of the times, my younger years was not anything you'd want to write about. And it took him 4 years to talk me into it. And he finally wrote it. And I'm glad he did.
Yeah, I think it speaks to the inspiration and what you overcame to sort of, lead the city. Really, I mean, it's really a remarkable story. One thing in the book he talks about is that, I don't know if this was his take on it or not. And we'll probably cut this out, but he said that you preferred working with men. Was that just happenstance that most people that you interfaced with?
Did I say that?
It's somewhere in here.
I don't remember that, because I don't know if I ever felt that.
Okay.
Well, there was a time in my life when I wasn't very comfortable.
Well, I just think that most people, when you're in that high administrative level at that time, and that was mostly occupied by men, so it was sort of not by choice, but by
Yeah, well, I
circumstance.
have always been very comfortable with people.
Mhm.
So,
Want a shot of the book?
What's that? Oh,
Does Jerome want a shot of the book with Dr. Oneill?
Yes. Turn it around there. There you go.
I don't want this out.
well, we also have 2 copies in the library, so.
No, I mean, that picture looks like I'm showing, oh, and buy my book. I don't want that.
Amazon.com.
Yeah.
We should get a group shot though.
You want to do it?
Yeah.
Is it? And Dr. Oneill, can you sign my copy?
Oh, yes. Oh, and I got something too.
Jerome, do you have still photos of Dr. Oneill current? Would this be a good time to get them, or can you get them from your video?
I can get them from the video.
Okay, because I know some of the web projects that I'm working on,
Sure.
the still photos might be important. Yes.
Of this here?
Of just shot during the thing.
Yeah. I can
If
grab
that's
some.
okay, I'm good, we'll work on that.
Yeah.
We just want to make sure we have the,
Yeah, we have the capabilities. Yeah.
You want to do a shot?
Yeah.
Just a minute.
yeah, absolutely.
These buttons say I love Long Beach.
Oh, okay.
And they have the date of my write-in candidacy.
Oh,
And you can each take one.
2002.
Yeah.
Oh, these are collectors.
Yes.
Yes, they are.
I like to have one. Okay.
Dr. Oneill came into my home to campaign in the Rutgers south of
Yeah.
Conant neighborhood in '94 when you were
Is
a
that
new
right?
candidate.
Is
I remember
that
having
right?
a little gathering there. Orange and green signs. You didn't get the red, white, and blue until '98.
Is that right?
Sign you see is red, white, and blue. Except Dr. Oneill, the first year, had orange and green, and it won. But then you changed.
Well, you know, I wouldn't have ever won being mayor if it hadn't been here.
Right. Oh, true.
Because
Yeah.
one
Watched your,
in 5 people have been to City College. Was it 1 or was it 1 in 4?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, and so you know, my life was with City College, and so with all these.
Just gonna take a video still.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
Get in there, Ryan.
okay, hold on.
Perfect.
Get in there.
What are you doing?
Oh, we were just
We're
looking
right
at the
here. We're
camera.
all surrounding you.
Okay.
Well, it's say thank you, Dr. Beverly Oneill.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thank
Dr.
you, Dr.
Beverly
Beverly
Oneill.
And hold. Got it.
Thank you.
Oh, how nice.
Wonderful. Thanks,
Thank
Jerome.
you.
Thank you.
Jeff, awesome job.
Yes, thank you.
Camille, thanks for getting all coordinated. And
course.
Ryan jumping in.
That was awesome. Thank you.
Okay, get out there.
I'm not gonna talk.
You're not gonna talk?
I'm not gonna talk to my videos anymore. Hello, my daddy. Go behind my. So Michael, we're laughing.
All right. Before you guys get to go, can you say Long Beach City College rocks?
Long Beach City College rocks.
Oh, you guys sound so.
Oh, we sound so. I know you can. I know you can do a lot of it.
Joshua, okay. Behind him. It's
Hold
not.
on, to say again.
Okay, Long Beach City College rocks.
Long Beach City College rocks. Is that good?
You guys gotta look at the camera.
I did. I tried.
One more.
Long Beach
You gotta look here though.
Long Beach College rocks.
Okay, I'll take that. All right, guys, you want to see it?